Welcome to the Only in Movies podcast. I'm your host, Onari, coming to you from Austin, Texas.
And I'm your host, Amato, coming to you from Buffalo, New York. And in this podcast, we break down scenes and discuss things that happen only in movies. Welcome back, listeners. Hello.
Hello, people. Hope you enjoyed the last episode. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Only Movies Pod to find out what movie we'll be covering on our upcoming episodes. Also, watch ahead and send us your suggestions for scenes that should make our Only Movies list and for a chance for your suggestion to make it on the show.
So, this week's movie, Murder Mystery, directed by Kyle Newitchick, starring Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston, Luke Evans, and Gemma Arterton. Here's a little bit about the movie. A New York cop and his wife go on a European vacation to reinvigorate the spark in their marriage, but end up getting framed and on the run for the death of an elderly billionaire. All right.
Yeah.
This is a Netflix original movie, everybody, so this is totally available for streaming on Netflix. You can go watch it right now. Pause, go watch it, come back. Remember, the important part is the coming back.
You must come back.
Yeah, right. You've signed the contract. You're actually obligated now to come back.
We will hold you to that.
Yeah, we know where you live. So, first off, I think this was like the timing of this was funny because Liz and I are going to a murder mystery dinner on Friday of this week. That's 2 days from now. We go to a murder mystery dinner. That's on my bucket list because I'm a nerd. And there's an episode of Saved by the Bell where they do a murder mystery dinner and it's like the most epic thing ever. And I've always wanted to do it. So I'm going to be there Friday having some stuffed shrimp and Liz is going to have some steak and we're going to be chilling.
Nice.
I've never done that before. Have you ever done it before?
I've never done the murder mystery. No, I played Clue.
Right. And I've so actually in January of this year, actually, we went to the museum and we did kind of like the science museum and we did like a Clue type game, but it wasn't as intense as I expect this to be.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I guess you're not in it. You're not in
it's not as immersive. Right. Yeah.
Right.
I want to see a body drop.
And for the record, I think the game Clue is shit. And the movie.
Word? Really? And the movie?
Yeah. It's all bad. I mean, I guess I didn't have any real love to lose since I already hated the game going into the movie.
I like the game. The game can be boring, but if you have the right people, it can be fun. But the movie I thought was actually pretty funny. It's a classic. It's a cult classic.
Yeah, not for me.
No, there's no classic to you. Okay, all right, that's good to know. Interesting. So maybe in a future episode, I'll update you guys on how my murder mystery experience was. I hope it's a good experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to a lot of these escape rooms, these events. I gotta try one of them one time.
You've been to an escape room?
No, not even.
Never. See, I thought an escape room would be like a murder mystery dinner, and it was, but not as. Again, it's not the immersion that I'm looking for. I need to be all in.
You're very aware that it's a game.
What's funny was, speaking of aware, driving down the avenue that the place that we're going to, it's a banquet hall, is hosting the murder mystery, and they use the exact same font to advertise that one of my favorite podcasts use. So I was like, wait, they're coming here? And then I realized, no, they okie doke me. It's just a murder mystery dinner, but I'm still in.
They got you.
All right, so murder mystery.
Right.
Let's talk about it. I couldn't find the budget for this movie. I saw everything from like 24 million, 5 million. That was interesting. It's supposedly the most watched new film on Netflix ever, but Denari and I don't love those kinds of stats. Those I'm number one on iTunes this week stats. None of those that made up shit. We're not really super fans of it. But there's an indication that people have watched it.
Yeah, and it's also you got to take it with a grain of salt when the actual company's reporting on it, when they typically don't report on numbers. It's just
right,
seems odd.
absolutely.
But still, I'm sure Adam Sandler is known
and Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, for putting out these comedy movies that aren't particularly great, but still get a lot of views. Based on his name recognition and just his full history.
Okay, so what's your opinion of Adam Sandler?
So I'm a fan of Adam Sandler. I've since the Happy Madison days all the way to Big Daddy, and even recently Grown Ups were pretty good movies. Now in between all that, he's had shit movies. And his comedy style is also takes some getting used to. It's definitely not a traditional.
Definitely not in
style.
this movie. There was not a lot. He wasn't really super funny.
No, but it's the same Adam Sandler comedy that we've come to know and either love or hate.
Right.
So that being said, I had expectations. I think it met those expectations coming in. But Jennifer Aniston and Adam always have a certain chemistry between them, and it wasn't there that much for me here.
Well, I think kind of the relationship was supposed to be like chemistry.
Yeah, I guess he's the husband was supposed to be kind of like a clueless husband at this point, or underachieving husband at the very least.
Okay, so I'll do my scene first. All right, so my first Only a Movie scene, the Only a Movies list, which is just a list of scenes that Denari and I both chose that we thought would just only happen in movies. So they were on the plane, headed to Europe. Audrey sneaks to first class. She starts having a drink. She sits down. She's having a drink. Her husband comes looking for her. Nick comes up, flashes the badge to the flight attendant, and the flight attendant just lets him go. That's not how it works. You have no jurisdiction on a plane. You can't just flash your badge and go, I'm going to first class. Let me see. I don't care that your wife is there. I don't care what's really the situation.
The president could be there.
Right. You can't just flash your badge. Again, my dad was a cop. I flown with a cop before. This was in the 80s. Now you really can't flash your badge. Go, I'm a cop. Let me do what I want. Then he goes, go ahead.
I have that as a come on fam. I literally wrote that was the most accessible first class ever.
Because two people stuck into it, right?
Everybody was just marching back and forth.
Just chilling.
When I fly, they'll be ready to throw me on the ground. I'm like, sir, you cannot use the bathroom here, sir. And they got the very demeaning mesh, you know?
So then he goes up. His wife is sitting there having a drink with some dude. Dude gives him a drink. He says, I wouldn't take a beer from someone I don't know. And then he took it.
That was actually pretty funny. I thought that was funny.
You want to have sex with my wife? How much? Nobody mentioned sex. Sex had not been brought up. Nobody mentioned money. And he just assumed that, and I was just like, "Whoa!"
That was actually one of the funnier exchanges of the movie. There weren't that many to me.
Yes, that was definitely a good one.
That was Adam Sandler, I think, at his peak there.
So what you're saying is he peaked early in this movie.
Oh yeah, he blew his load at the
first 20 minutes. Okay. So that was my first scene. And then toward the end of that scene, when they try to turn down the Free Rich People weekend for the Ham Expo, and then they changed our minds. I would have been like, fuck y'all. Yeah. Oh, y'all saw where you had to go?
Yeah. Why was he waiting there for them?
I thought he found a cooler couple to hang out with. Fuck y'all. I found a cooler couple.
Yeah. When they decided to change their mind, I thought they were going to, run back to the airport, try to find him. Maybe they got his number. No, he was just leaning on his car, watching them.
First of all, he's obviously not in the United States because you can't get your car. You can't just lean on your car at any airport in the United States without them rushing you completely out of you can't just stop your car, lean on it, and chill.
And you sure as hell wouldn't have your car that close to the gate. You would have to take a bus, to take a train to go to your car in long-term parking 6 miles away.
Right. That's actually a great point. His car was just sitting there. Yeah. Only in movies. He might as well have just fucking opened the side door and just hop right into that bitch like Batman. Okay, your scene?
So my first scene is the stabbing scene.
Of course.
So this is when they're already on the yacht, and Malcolm Quince,
yes,
the billionaire whose boat it is talking to everybody. He had just finished shitting on everybody, which was great on his own. And then he's walking to sign over a document. The lights go out. There's a stabbing. Malcolm brought the document that he was going to sign on the ship, only to sign it and then take it back to wherever he needs to take it to. He could have done everything the same exact way
in his office.
Not even. He could have had that shit already signed and filed. Why did he need to sign it in front of them?
So my issue with that was, why would he take a whole bunch of people that he knew were going to be pissed off at him, put them in a captive situation at sea, and then be like, now you're gonna be fucking mad. Watch this. That was that upset me. Right. That upset me. I was like, whoa, he don't give a fuck.
There were no fucks to be given that day. His balls are made of steel. They were actually fucking with the balance on the boat. It was like some ridiculous shit. I was like, he did all that just definitely to just shit on everybody. And then after that, the way everyone reacted, I was like, what? Are these like Stone Cold Killers?
Right, did this happen all the time? Right? This is Taco Tuesday for them.
It was like, oh yeah, look, Jimmy got stabbed again. Right.
They killed Kenny.
But like, first of all, these people were already close to him, so they should have been freaking the fuck out. And the Spitzes in particular, they don't know anybody on this boat.
So you gotta be terrified, right? But my issue furthermore with that scene is Spitz is a cop. He's supposed to be a detective. He watches them defile that crime scene. He watches them
Yes.
lift their legs up and pee all over that entire crime scene and does nothing.
Without putting his beer down.
Right. And on the way back, he stops to eat shrimp. And I was like, oh no. He watched him take the knife out, put it back in. Again, just completely pissed all over the crime scene. I couldn't eat shrimp after I just watched somebody get stabbed in front of me. That was a little bit disturbing.
Maybe because they didn't actually see it, they
Yeah,
were like,
fuck it.
it's
Yeah,
not that big
he's
a deal. Although when they reinserted the dagger, I guess you did watch somebody get stabbed again there. Everybody was pretty fucking calm. And as you mentioned, they're completely fine just going back to their own quarters and eating shrimp with the person that just killed somebody on the boat with them. Because somebody killed that guy. He didn't stab himself.
No, 100%.
So yeah, that was my scene. It was a lot.
So my scene is not too far after that. I'm gonna walk through a couple things here because I'm looking at my notes and I have my come on fam, and then I have it leads right into the next scene. So we're just gonna roll right now. So
let's do it.
So first off, they took forever to get to the interrogation. They gave everybody enough time to create, finalize, and perfect a story before they started doing an interrogation.
When the inspector or whoever the fuck shows up, that was one of my come on fans. He just shows up and he puts them right next to the body and starts questioning them.
And they didn't have a translator for they knew Juan Carlos didn't speak English. How could you not have a translator? What kind of amateur fucking investigation is this?
It was pretty fucking amateur because the body's still in the goddamn backdrop. All right. That shit is stinking up the room, literally. And they have the supposed suspects and they're just questioning away. I'm like, aren't you still tainting the fucking crime scene right now?
It was a mess. They defiled the crime scene.
And then Audrey is fucking giddy about this. I was like, what? These people have some issues.
Deep mental issues.
Like it's an escape room, like you said, or it's like she's in the actual novel.
Like somebody's gonna pop out and go, ha, it's over. So speaking of Audrey, I don't want to be misogynistic, but I feel like...
But I'm going to be
misogynistic. I feel like Jennifer Aniston's character was paid not to wear a bra this entire movie. Every time I looked, her nipples were like talking to me. They were like, hey, stop paying attention.
So...
No. Did you notice that, or was it me?
Well, I'm gonna school you a little bit here, Amato. As a fellow Friends watcher, when she was playing Rachel in Friends, they always mentioned the perkiness of Rachel in that show because it felt like she never wore a bra the entire show. Well, and it was always cold as hell on set, apparently. She was always cutting ice, as they say.
I was trying to figure out the killer, and they were like, look at me. Look at me.
I think in every movie Jennifer Aniston's been in, that's like a trait of hers. When she was in The Breakup.
Oh, yeah.
You ever watched The Breakup?
I did, but I can't tell you shit about it.
Like I said, in every movie that she's in.
It's a theme.
Yeah, okay. This is a theme. So the fact that you noticed it now, I'm surprised you didn't notice it during the Friends days.
I was a different person back then.
This is well within her theatric roles, I think.
So that takes me to my actual next scene is she's being investigated. They said, you're a suspect? And she just started running her mouth. Your husband's a cop. You should know. As soon as somebody says you're a suspect for a murder, you shut the fuck up and say, can I have a lawyer, please? I don't care where we are. I don't care what country we're in. Get me a lawyer. I'm not saying another word.
Yeah, Nick was played by Adam Sandler. Nick Spitz. Audrey was played by Jennifer Aniston. And the character of Nick as being a cop was just completely fucking up what a cop would do
in every situation.
Every turn.
So that's actually really good. So sometimes, again, my dad's a cop. He's a retired cop. Sometimes I'm with him and we're driving by a situation with cops involved and he's telling me what every cop is doing wrong in that situation. He'd have had a field day with this movie.
It was bad. So yeah, so you mentioned the fact that she's running her mouth and he's sitting next to her. He's like, honey. And that's all he says. I would have been like, shut the fuck up. Just real quick, very direct.
Yeah, 100%.
They were digging a hole, and they didn't know they were in the hole. It was almost to their head before she realized.
Right? Oh shit! They think we did it. Yeah, I just said that. Okay, so your next scene.
So my next scene is the Sergei murder plot confession scene in the hotel.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
I have a bunch of notes about that, actually.
So they're in the room, they get a note that says, go to room 802. And they debate for a little bit. And Audrey's like, you know what? I'll go. I'm bored. Let's go check it out. She doesn't actually say that. That might as well be what she said because she was going over there. Several people have been killed already. And Audrey is still gung-ho about going to see who wrote this note. So they're walking over there and they walk into the room holding the lamp as a weapon and check no rooms as they're walking in. They just keep walking past an open doorway.
Not even looking behind them. They didn't leave any room for retreat. I have that. They got so far from the door that they left no room for them to actually retreat.
Right. So, like, so what was he gonna do with the lamp?
He was gonna plug it in.
He got you. Yeah. I gotcha. Got an idea?
Right.
It was, yeah. I didn't even know why they didn't knock in the first place. You could have knocked and then waited to see if somebody opened the door and then clocked them in the head or something. Okay, so that's that part. That was just the entering of the room. Already plenty of problems.
Well, can I go to a step before that real quick before you continue?
Go ahead.
So let's go to a step before that.
There's a lot in this scene.
Because when they first get the note, they defile it. They don't think, this is a piece of evidence. They could have read the note without actually touching it.
Audrey did, to be fair.
By this point, we need to get shit together, guys.
They should have already been a little more careful, especially knowing that they're implicated in this.
Exactly.
And they still keep
touching evidence. They keep touching
Through
evidence.
it. And Audrey actually brought up a great point. Audrey's like, don't touch it because of, or dust it for prints. And Nick, makes a joke. Oh, do you have, which I thought was pretty funny. Do you have your fingerprinting kit? Because I left mine at home. But she still had a great point. Okay, so you can't dust for their prints, but don't put your print on it. Why don't you give that to somebody else? So that's the note piece. And now we have the room entrance problems. After having already entered, they have a whole conversation with Sergei. Turns out he gets killed. And now Sergei's body is against the door, the exit door. And Nick is holding the door because someone's trying to get in. The person that just shot Sergei is trying to get into the room. And I'm like, hold up. Two things. One, he never even tries to look through the peephole to see who is standing outside. I mean, you were already holding the door. It's not like you can leave. And then I also find it pretty interesting how the shooter that just shot through the door is now all of a sudden trying to push the door open and not shooting through the door again.
Well, they pushed and then shot, didn't they?
They pushed, but Nick was kind of holding it for a while. He had time to put on a latch and everything. That's what I mean. He had time to look through the people. And then as soon as he starts moving away, then he starts shooting through the door. It was very conveniently timed.
My issue was, as soon as they saw Sergei was dead, what did they do? Touch the fucking body. More evidence. Hey, guys. Hey, we did it. We fucking did it. Look. And then my other issue was, when Sergei turns around, instead of saying, he goes, the name of the killer is, instead of just saying, it's Bob. Bob fucking did it. Bob's the killer. Oh my God. He used all his words to do his intro. I think that's fucking stupid.
Mike did it.
Right.
Boom. Dead.
Not even, you can just say, John. You don't even have to say did it. You can at least give me a clue.
Something.
So now I have a ton of other candidate scenes and all of that stuff and come on fams and funny stuff. But I got a funny story for you.
Go for it.
So this movie starts with Nick failing his detective exam.
Right.
My dad was a detective. Did I ever tell you the story about when I met Tatiana Ali?
No.
Do you know who Tatiana Ali is? Because I know you're like 12.
Yes, from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
So, where's she from? Brooklyn. What did her dad do? He was a New York City cop.
Nice.
At my dad's promotion, at one of his detective promotions, I'm outside and he's shaking hands with a guy. They introduced me to this little girl. And they're like, yeah, she's about to leave to go to California and be on a TV show. And I'm like, oh, sure, whatever. And then like 6 months to a year later, guess who was on TV?
That's dope.
And that turned out to be Tatiana Ali. So she ended up being one of my crushes because I was like, damn, I could have shot my shot. I was like 8. 9 maybe.
Damn, Amato. You could have been living in Beverly Hills right now.
I could have shot my shot, yeah. I could have been Mr. Ali.
Mr. Ali. She's forever the one that got away?
No, I won't go that far.
Yeah, you're not trying to get shot.
Right? Yeah, I know. Now you're pushing it, right? I was like, oh, no, we're not doing this one.
We've been talking about self-incrimination this whole time, so
make sure this part gets edited completely correct. So when we do this episode, we should make that the trailer and send it to her and see if she remembers. And she's gonna be like, "I'm from fucking Texas. What is he talking about?" He made that up.
Like, Brooklyn. I've never been to Brooklyn in my life.
Right? Don't do drugs, kids. Oh man. My other one that I thought was really funny is when she's getting her hair done and the women are complaining and they say, you have to tell men exactly what you want. And I'm like,
that seems like pretty fucking logical to me.
That's like, really? And then Liz was like, hell yeah, exactly. That's my problem too. And I'm like, so you want me to read your mind? You want me to be clairvoyant and understand what you want to happen?
Let's tread lightly here.
Yes, I'm just saying. I said it to her. I won't. I don't understand. That's the most logical thing I've ever heard. That in order for them to do what you want, you have to tell them exactly
Tell
what
them.
you want. Whoa, revolution. It shall not be televised. My last scene, again, I have a lot of stuff that I could have chose. And actually, right before we started, watched this back to confirm that I was wrong. Did you notice that during the final chase scene, the driver's side of the police car was on the wrong side?
Oh, it was like like an American car.
Yeah, yeah. The police car was an American car. And the Ferrari or whatever they were driving was on the European side, but the police car was on the American side. Now, I don't know much about Europe, but I don't think the police cars have.
Well, they were in Morocco.
Yeah, but why would just the police cars be on the wrong side? I just thought everywhere other than America, for the most part, drove on the other side. Not America,
in
but
Europe?
you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I actually don't know that if Moroccans drive. But yeah, see, driving on Morocco is on the right hand side of the road, like us.
Oh, really? Well, I learned something new then. Interesting.
I don't know enough about fucking supercars or whatever to know if Ferraris can even be made with the steering wheel on the left side of the car.
I'm sure they can.
So I noticed that for the same reason as you, where I was like, okay, so the steering wheel on the other side, but the Alfa Romeo wasn't. And then I thought, okay, different cars, different countries or whatever.
Got it.
But I swear I've gotten into Ferraris with the steering wheel on the left
Wait,
side.
you be just getting into Ferraris?
The car shows.
Oh, okay. I was
not,
just like,
not you know,
damn,
I'm in my spare time.
Somebody flew you out and then picked you up at the airport.
You don't know my life motto.
You got flued out. I will still maintain this scene because Jennifer Aniston's character, Audrey, drives stick like she's an expert and keeps up with a professional F1 driver. Driving a car that was on the wrong side of what she's normally used to. Bam. I fixed it.
So that I did think about. I was like, she's very comfortable driving that car. Like, I don't even know what that feels like. You're shifting with your left.
Yeah, that's not natural at all to her.
Well, speaking of driving, though, I did love that Juan Carlos was an F1 guy.
Oh, because you're an F1 guy.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, like, you know, they were in Monaco and everything, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And they actually showed the actual F1 race cars. But I thought for a second they were gonna put an actual F1 driver in the movie.
I thought he was gonna die in the race.
Damn.
I thought he was gonna die in the race. I have it. While Carlos
Dark
gonna die in
Amato.
race was wrong. Yeah. Because I thought they were gonna sabotage. I didn't know who did it yet, so I thought they were gonna sabotage him as part of the get rid of everybody who pissed me off mantra.
The plot. Oh, that's true. I did have a lot of jumps between like who was in on it and who wasn't. I definitely thought the inspector was in on it. To be fair,
They did do a good job of that. I thought.
I would agree with that as well. The inspector I thought was in on it just by the way that he was handling the case and his complete ineptitude. I was like, this guy has to be in on it. Either he's the worst inspector ever or he's in on it. Those are the only two options. But we know which one it is now.
Right. He's pretty fucking terrible.
With that being said, that actually leads into my next scene when the inspector and all of the remaining characters are in the mansion at the end of the movie. And the inspector, who's dead set on taking Nick and Archie to jail, says to Nick, I don't know how you do things in Brooklyn, but here you need evidence.
Brooklyn!
But he has no actual evidence, by the way.
I couldn't remember why I wrote that down, but I wrote that down. I just wrote down Brooklyn, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. But go ahead.
So he's dead set on taking him to jail, but he has no actual evidence and then still took the time to boast to Nick that here in his country, they need evidence to take people to jail. I was like, apparently not, bro, because you're taking these guys.
No, right.
And right now, they have a witness in Juan Carlos who can corroborate that someone else was trying to kill them. They managed to link the whole story to the actress being the last heir. They managed to expose that, first of all, she was keeping that a secret this whole time. But the inspector's like, no, I'm just going to ignore all that and keep doing what I was doing. You guys are just easier, apparently, even though they even had motive with the actor, Grace, at the end of the day. That's the whole time they're thinking about, they don't have motive. They don't have motive. Like, they have a clear motive here. And he's like, nah, I'm not going to investigate any further.
Well, I wanted to take a step back in that scene, too, because they discover she's Princess Blowdart. And I was like, wait, so her being Princess Blowdart in a movie made her an expert with blow darts?
That's how that
I'm
works.
sure blow darts are not easy to just fucking aim, shoot, and get your kill with. So I was like, that's kind of pushing it.
Yeah, she was taking shots from like 20, 30 meters away.
With a
She
blow
was-
dart, right.
You like how I said meters? Because, this is a European.
Yeah, that's fine.
She's taking shots with the blow dart. And that actually, funny that you mentioned that, I found that interesting that she was so good with the blow dart. She managed to even have one of the darts fly so hard, I guess, that it stabbed itself into the wall. A concrete wall.
A blow dart. I didn't even consider that. That's nuts. That's sick. She is iron lungs.
I was actually glad that in that scene, Nick said to the inspector, "Are you on holiday or something?" Because the inspector just wanted to wrap that shit up, B, and go home.
Why y'all still here?
To his bastard children. All right.
So, still in that scene, let's take it a step further. Juan Carlos is going to escape, right? He busts out his gun. He shoots out the wheel of one car. There's like a line of 70 cars next to it. And then he escapes.
It was so bad.
That was a waste of fucking bullets.
He shot like 4 times to take out one tire. Then they pan out and you see 3 cars next to that one.
It's fucking stupid.
So that's bad that he shot the car, right? The only reason he even got that goddamn gun is because this dumbass inspector decided to tackle him, even though he had a gun on his belt this whole time. Why wouldn't he just walk up to him like, hey,
freeze?
Stop.
Yeah.
Everything after that scene, I was like, oh, come on. This movie could have been 10 minutes shorter.
Well, it was only an hour and 37 to begin with.
Still to be a little bit shorter.
An hour and 10 max. So now we're going to Come On Fams and funny stuff. Come On Fams, a scene we saw. We just like, come on, fam. What's going on? And funny scenes that we saw throughout the movie.
Yeah, those are little snippets that aren't really a full-fledged scene. Just kind of quick hits. So do you want to start?
So my first one is he went to go buy. They've been together for 15 years, and he went to buy her a $50 Amazon gift card
with a squirrel nuts pun card.
Like, yo, fam, I'm cheap. I won't even lie. I'm a cheap guy. I'm cheap, but that was like below me. Like, how dare you? You 15 years, you can spend $50 on her. That's horrible. That's like $4 a year. Like,
he did the math.
Like less. It's like $350. Yeah, like it's $350. Like, how dare you? I'm also the type of person who is, like, you can't be materialistic. You have to look at the thought behind the gift. But there was no fucking thought.
I was gonna say, so that's the other problem. A $50 gift card from Amazon, very generic, and now on top of that, you're gonna put it in a squirrel nuts pun card.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that was mad disrespectful. Mad disrespectful.
And then in that scene, I thought the Amazon plugs were very, very apparent. And how much do you think Clarendon and Allegra paid for that movie?
Well, I thought it was funny that my kids get more Amazon money than he gave his wife. My kids' Amazon yearly budget is way higher than that. But they placed ads. Yeah, they were placed ads all over the place. I guess maybe that's a reason we advertised how many people saw this movie. Conspiracy?
Yeah. No, that's a great point. I think there's a lot of... And just speaking in general, I hate this new method because before they would do an ad and it was like glancing, you might see a logo real quick and that's it. Now they like slow down the camera and I'm like, you think people don't recognize that fucking Amazon logo? Like, it's the fucking biggest company in the world and you have to like sit on it for 3 seconds.
Right.
He like stops and puts his hand on it and then switches the card. I was like, oh, I hate shit like that. But yeah, that did make me think this movie was definitely made to just get their money back.
Another thing for me too was I would like to make a general announcement to the public. Don't you ever invite me out to eat and say you're gonna pay, and when I go to fucking get another drink, you tell me I can't have no more drinks. Don't even go nowhere with me. I won't go. I will pay for my meal, your meal, and leave, and never see you again in your entire life. I would not even tolerate that.
How about you also don't do that? You don't clock people's tabs when they're covering for your terrible lie at this dinner. Right? Because this is one thing if you go out with your friend and you want to be all cheap and shit. But dude, you just ask your friend's wife and your friend to lie for you. And then you're like, whoa, I think you've had enough.
Chill out. Yeah. What the fuck that noise. Don't ever do that shit to me. I would lose my mind.
So you've taken 2 of my Come On Fam scenes there.
Okay, so go ahead.
So one of my Come On Fams is they're in the yacht and they've all gone back to their quarters to hide supposedly from the killer that's still on the ship until Interpol gets there. And then they hear shooting and they all run out to investigate. I was like, what the fuck? Fuck all that. You'll hear me to the door. Is everyone okay?
Right.
What's going on out there? Because my ass ain't coming out. They literally ran up to
Everybody
the body.
ran to go
Everybody
see,
everybody
right.
on the whole
So
yacht.
do you know that was the only bullet? Like, how you know there's just not be about to be a shootout? You just run into the shootout.
Right. These people were just extremely comfortable around death, gunplay, and violence. It was a lot.
So another thing I had, when he goes through the whole shaving cream, he puts on the shaving cream, right, all over his face. And then the next scene, he still has mad hair all over his face. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that. I didn't.
Yeah, like, it looked like he just put the shaving cream on.
He was just lathering himself.
Yeah, right. And just washed it off and just went about his business. Yeah. He wanted to be moist. I don't know. Did you love, so I have, Denari loves this, the jump scare where Audrey punches Nick? I was like, oh, you love that.
I did.
You love that. You love when people get their comeuppance.
I'm glad. Yes.
But then two people proceeded to push over the bookshelves in an entire library.
Yeah, that was when they
Kinda
focused
pushing
on the way that the library were like stacks
Was
were
set up? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought something's gonna happen with this. As soon as I saw that, and then it also didn't make any sense in that same scene. They're going. That was one of my come on fams. They're going from chasing people to getting shot to then going back to chasing people, and they have no gun.
Right.
What is their plan? I have no idea. But I was like, how are you?
Even when they have a gun, homie can't shoot.
No, that was pretty bad. When he said there was a bad shot, I was like, God damn, bro, you almost shot yourself.
So, and then right after that, they pull a gun on everybody in the market. There's another body, and what do? Defile it.
Touch the body.
That's going to be the name of this episode. Murder Mystery. Defile it.
Touch upon the body. That sounds like a regular as well. Defile it.
It's the ad lib.
And again, this is a police officer. He's never watched a procedural even. I mean, maybe he's just a really bad cop. So my other come on fam scene is when they're chilling after the hotel where Sergey gets killed. They're chilling in the restaurant and they ask the waiter to translate the message about them being wanted on TV. Like, what? Why?
Why, right?
Why would you bring
That's dumb as fuck, right?
more attention to it? Yeah.
Hey, guy, hey, I think that's us.
I was like, hey, by the way, if you haven't noticed, can you look at the TV for us? That was a fucking mess. But I did think that the inspector translating that single part about him not being the detective was messy as fuck.
Yeah, that was dumb. That was just dumb.
He was like, let me just get you in trouble real quick.
Right, that was petty.
That's some whole shit, as you said.
That's Petty Betty.
That was some whole shit.
So this isn't a come on fam or funny, but I thought it was interesting that the French inheritance law is your will doesn't matter. It's divided amongst your kids. What if you really don't want that shit to be divided amongst your motherfucking kids?
You got to kill some of them. I think that's what we learned today.
Touche.
I wonder if that's true. I never.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know the American inheritance law too well, so I'm not gonna claim to be an expert on French.
My last come on fam scene is again following the theme of these people being way too comfortable around dead bodies. Nick goes ahead and puts on the dead person's clothes. That was
disgusting. Yeah, that was really weird as fuck.
That was disgusting. Not believable. So you're gonna take off clothes from a corpse and put it on and be rocking it for confidence? It's like I'm not sure I'll be too confident about wearing a dead man's tuxedo. I'll be like, it still smells like him.
So, but again, with that suit, in order for him to get the suit, what did he have to do? More body touching.
That's exactly what I thought about. I was like, so you had to lay this guy down, drip him,
and you had to hope he was your size this whole time.
It's a lot to take in about these people and corpses. We're getting into some dark shit here now.
Okay, so one of my funnies was they talked about him back in the olden days. Nick used to do the cute little mixtapes. That was my bag, fam.
Yeah.
I'm the cute little mixtape god. And then when I got to high school, I evolved into, oh, you got a computer, sweetheart? I got games on floppy disks I could copy for you and help you install.
I got you.
Your whole family will love it. Dad's loving me because he got games to play. I was in there like swimwear.
I definitely did the mixed CD bag.
Oh, that was my bag. See, you didn't do a mixtape. You did mixed CDs. I actually did the mix.
Nah, I make CD.
I'm old school.
That takes work.
Yeah,
that takes work.
Right.
I thought that when Audrey, she was in the plane at the beginning of the movie, she's like, "Do you have some earplugs?" And they were like,
$9. Yeah.
She was like, "What?" I felt that.
Right. Hell yeah.
That.
Fuck that. $9. That's a lot. Maybe she's a 4, 5, 9. I'm good.
Yeah, I think 5
It's like the max. Yeah.
Yeah, her pullback. I felt that. In that same plane scene, when they were both in the bathroom, I was like, 2 actual airplane bathrooms fit in that bathroom. All right, you could do yoga in that shit.
So we made it this far. We didn't discuss Vikram at all, and I thought it was hilarious when he said, "When a brown person bows, white people bow back," and he just kept bowing. I thought that shit was funny as fuck.
So that introductory scene was fucking hilarious.
But
I enjoyed that. That was pretty.
But
good.
his accent kept switching up. He went from like black to English,
yeah.
Middle Eastern, like back of. I'm just mad confused.
What's good done?
I was born into the game. He had name. Like he's the hip hop Maharaj is what I have.
Yeah.
And then when he goes to when him and Grace start getting intimate and she starts saying her own name and he tells her we should conversate. First of all, I hate the word conversate because it doesn't mean shit. And then he said, I have mad sex cred in these parts. I was dying. What is sex cred? how do you get it?
He got a dick yelp.
Yep. And here we go. Everything is all connected. And all of these episodes, you can find a fucking thread. I thought he was an asshole when he put the phone in the beer instead of taking the SIM out. I thought that was nuts.
Yeah, I was like, people do that all the time.
This dude's an idiot.
Let's destroy the phone. I'm like, you can turn it off. You could take the SIM out.
Right after that, he let her walk off into Monaco at night, wanted. Then he calls his man back in New York, and he's like, can you link 2 numbers together? He's linking 2 international numbers to each other from New York City. Burner numbers that aren't even connected to any fucking from New York City in a whole nother continent.
Yeah, I was like, wait, she's like, can I track one from the other? I was like, huh?
I didn't know if this was like a cop thing. When Nick told Audrey that Allegra means the same shit as Clarendon, that made me think of my dad instantly. I was like, that's totally something my dad would say. Allegra means the same shit. That's totally one of his tropes. He would totally say that.
Means the same shit or does the same shit?
No, means. He says, you didn't know in Italian, Allegra means the same shit as Clarendon?
I did hear that, but I was like, huh?
Yeah. That's my dad. That exactly. Exactly. What the fuck? What did you just say?
I was like,
that
huh?
doesn't even mean shit. Okay.
Did you catch the little Easter egg at the very end of the movie?
Of course. That they were on the Orient Express?
Yeah.
Of course I caught that.
Have you seen that movie?
Yes, I enjoyed it very much too. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yes.
They're making a sequel.
That was a good movie. This was a poor man's version of that murder mystery movie.
A really poor man's, yeah. Like a broke dude. I saw a video on Instagram of some dude stealing $1 in the club. He made this movie.
I didn't know where that was going for a second. I was like, huh?
You gotta follow me, man. You have to. Yeah. Sometimes I play the long game. It's not always the short game. So let's go into our reviews. Overall, I thought the story, again, I'm a story person, so I thought the story was good. I thought the way they threw us off, the way they kept us guessing was good. I thought the acting was not so good. I didn't think it was as funny as it could be. And I think sometimes they reached too hard for jokes.
Yes.
It was like almost a good movie. It wasn't really like a good movie, but it wasn't a terrible movie. It was better than Predator.
That doesn't mean anything, all right?
In my opinion.
We keep saying that.
Shut up. That's my bar. That's my bar. The people know what I mean.
It's like saying, at least I didn't die. I'm like, well, yes, everything is worse when you die.
Right. So a lot of people have seen it. It seemed like they were going to make a sequel with that ending. Let's see what happens. I'd much rather see the Murder on Orient Express sequel. That's going to be excellent. Henry Perot is an excellent character with a wealth of excellent stories. It's Henry Perot, right?
I have no idea. The movie is going to be great. We're going to compare it to this movie. All right. I have no qualms about it.
Oh, I'm nice. It is Henry Perot. My dad was actually a big Agatha Christie fan, and he would get her books in the mail like every month. So I'm familiar with, I picked up a couple, read them here and there, and I'm familiar with. I lied. It's Hercule Poirot, not Henry. Hercule Poirot. I had the H though. I had the H. But excellent stories. Excellent stories. This one, not so great. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you might just want to see it so you can laugh with us and enjoy what we just discussed and see the things we pointed out, because there was really, with us, that makes this movie better. Netflix is going to have to cut us a check.
Yes. See that would be like the one of the main, and there is such a thing as like hate watching or like, watching just to make fun of movies. This would be one of the movies where you could definitely have some fun with that. And to a point, I think Adam Sandler kind of knows that. He's just like, I'm just going to make ridiculous movies and they're going to keep cutting those checks. So,
And people are going to keep watching apparently too, because they're not going to keep cutting those checks if people aren't watching.
Yeah, I don't know. I have had movies where I've tried to watch the Adam Sandler ones and I'm just like, I can't do it.
I don't got this in me.
No. But I'll go into my full review now. This was an Adam Sandler movie. It was very apparent. And you kind of know what you're expecting when you are watching an Adam Sandler movie. And it was as I expected. So, to be fair, there were no surprises in that regard. Amato picked this movie, I would say. He was dying to watch it. And now he has to live with that decision.
I was not dying to watch it. You're being dramatic as fuck. I was not dying to watch it.
I'm talking shit. Right?
First of all, if we're going to keep it gully, if we're going to keep it real, we're going to give the people. I told Denari when this movie came out, mad people were going to watch it. And we should do it because mad people were going to watch it. And then when it came out, what happened? According to Netflix, mad fucking people watched it. So I was right. I just want to throw that out there.
A lot of people did watch this movie.
According to Netflix.
According to Netflix. We got to keep putting the asterisk there. Now, my concern was, who are these people?
And what else have they watched? Did they like Predator?
No, but seriously, it was a popular movie, so we definitely, I think, needed to cover it. That being said, it was not a great movie. It did have decent twists, as we spoke about. There were a couple of times where it also had sparks of humor and witty banter. Overall, I think it's a movie that you can definitely watch if you have absolutely nothing else to do.
It's a movie you can watch. That's the advice we're giving out to people. This is a movie you can watch with your eyes, preferably.
I'm really trying, man. I'm trying. You can, in fact, watch this movie yes. And it will end at some point. Yes. Right. Those are two things that I can guarantee about this movie, hands down. You mentioned this, and I think I would agree with you. Jennifer Aniston had, I think, more moments in the movie than Adam Sandler.
She had all the moments for me.
Yeah. Yeah, her style or her delivery was more concise, so it made the jokes actually land, and then they moved on. Where we know what Adam Sandler, that's not his style. He's a beat you over the head with the joke,
right?
Kind of comic. Laugh now, please. Or like Jeb Bush, please clap. Right. But yeah, it was a movie.
So let me just sum up your review. It's a movie. You can watch it, and it will end. That's it, people. Have a good night. At some
point. Not soon enough, though. Not soon enough. Someone gave this movie a B-, and I couldn't fathom how. Someone that we both know.
A mutual friend of ours, yeah.
I thought that was incredibly generous, even if we're using the Adam Sandler lens to rate this movie. Because Big Daddy was a fucking hilarious movie.
Big Daddy's an A+. Yeah,
Big Daddy was my high bar for Adam Sandler, so this did not land anywhere close to that. Liz asked me what I thought about the movie, and I said a C- is generous. Is me being generous to it, or a C.
Okay. All right. Well, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Only a Movies Pod.
Also, let us know what movies you want us to cover in the future by responding to our Instagram story questions or leaving a comment on any of our pages. We have been getting their interactions, guys. We appreciate it. We love the suggestions. We're going to be putting out some surveys soon so that you guys can give us your input on what classic movie we should cover next. So look out for that, or look out for some trivia, and keep on listening.
So join us next time for more things that happen only in movies.